Hello students, in this class we can study the new chapter called biomolecules. This is very important chapter, carries 6 marks in your board exam. The biomolecules includes maybe carbohydrates, amino acids, proteins, nucleic acids, hormones or vitamins. All these comes under the biomolecules. You have to study these 6 organic compounds under biomolecules. Next, you consider one by one. First biomolecule is the carbohydrate. The definition of carbohydrate is these are the naturally occurring organic compounds. Means this carbohydrate is an organic compound which present in the nature. Naturally occurring organic compounds which contains carbon, nitrogen and oxygen. Such organic compounds are called as the carbohydrate. Naturally occurring organic compounds containing carbon, nitrogen and oxygen are called carbohydrate. Carbohydrate can also be defined as the hydrates of the carbon. Why they are called hydrates of carbon means these carbohydrates represented by the formula CxH2OY. That is, this is an hydrate. Hence, carbohydrate are called hydrates of the carbon containing the water molecule, hydrates of the carbon. This is another form to define the carbohydrate. The exact definition of carbohydrate is carbohydrates means polyhydroxyaldehydes. Poly means many. Hydroxy means OH group. Polyhydroxyaldehyde. Aldehyde means they contain CHO group. Polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone. Ketone means they contains a CO group. CHO is aldehyde, CO is the ketone. They contain the organic compounds, naturally occurring organic compound contain many hydroxyl group. In addition to hydroxyl group, they contain either aldehyde or ketone as the functional group. Or some compounds directly they not contains aldehyde or ketonic group. Certain compounds which on hydrolysis gives polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones. Such compounds are called as the carbohydrates. The exact definition of carbohydrate is polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone, or the compounds on hydrolysis yields these compounds. These compounds mean polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone. Such compounds we can call as the carbohydrates. Next, you consider the classification of carbohydrates. Classification is important. How can we classify the carbohydrates? Means on the basis of or on the behavior, on the basis of hydrolysis, on the behavior of hydrolysis of the carbohydrate, they are classified into monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. On the behavior of carbohydrates towards the hydrolysis, they are classified into monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides means the simplest carbohydrates, which cannot be further hydrolyzed. Such compounds are called monosaccharides. Simplest carbohydrate which cannot be further hydrolyzed. Those are called as the monosaccharides. Example for the monosaccharides are glucose, fructose and galactose. These three compounds cannot be further hydrolyzed. They are the simplest one. Hence, those carbohydrates are called monosaccharides. Simplest carbohydrate which cannot be further hydrolyzed. Examples for monosaccharides are glucose, fructose and galactose. Oligosaccharides means the carbohydrate upon hydrolysis, if they yield the 2 to 10 monosaccharide units, the carbohydrate on hydrolysis yields 2 to 10 monosaccharide units are called as the oligosaccharides. Depending on the number of monosaccharides formed, based on the number of monosaccharides formed by hydrolysis, oligosaccharides may be disaccharides. They may be disaccharides, trisaccharides, tetrasaccharides and so on. Based on the number of monosaccharide units formed, oligosaccharides may be disaccharides, trisaccharides, tetrasaccharides and so on. In our syllabus, they are considered what are disaccharides and examples. Disaccharides means the carbohydrate upon hydrolysis, they give 2 monosaccharides. If 2 monosaccharides are formed by the hydrolysis, those are called as the disaccharides. For example, you consider that sucrose on hydrolysis, we get one molecule as the glucose, another one as fructose. There are two. This glucose and fructose comes under the monosaccharides. Sucrose upon hydrolysis gives glucose and fructose. Hence, sucrose is considered as an example for the disaccharide. Similarly, you can consider the lactose. Lactose on hydrolysis gives glucose and galactose. Glucose and galactose. Glucose and galactose are the monosaccharide. Hence, lactose is also an example for the disaccharide. And one more is the maltose. Maltose. Sucrose, lactose and maltose are the disaccharide. Maltose on hydrolysis gives 2 glucose units. Hence, these sucrose, lactose and maltose we can call it as the disaccharides. Next, third type, polysaccharides. Polysaccharides. Polysaccharides means, poly means the many. If the carbohydrate on hydrolysis produce large number of monosaccharides, large number of the monosaccharides, many number, large or many number of monosaccharides formed, such carbohydrates are called as the polysaccharides. Example for polysaccharides are the starch, cellulose and glycogen. Starch, cellulose and glycogen are the examples for the polysaccharides. This is about the one type of classification on the basis of hydrolysis of the carbohydrate. Maybe monosaccharide, oligosaccharide or polysaccharides. In oligosaccharide, we can study the disaccharides. Next, we can study the further classification of the monosaccharides. Based on the functional group present. Depending on the functional group present in the monosaccharide. Based on the functional group present in the monosaccharide, they may be two types like aldoses and ketoses. Aldoses and ketoses. Aldoses means the monosaccharide which contains aldehydic group. Aldehyde as the functional group. Aldehyde formula is CHO. Monosaccharide which contains aldehyde as the functional group, those are called as the monosaccharides. Example for aldoses are glucose and galactose. Next, you can see how to write the structure of glucose and galactose. There we can show the functional group present in glucose and galactose are the aldehyde. Aldehyde as the functional group. Hence, glucose and galactose are called as the aldoses. Name the functional group present in either glucose or galactose means the functional group name is aldehyde. Aldehyde functional group. Formula of the aldehyde is CHO. Similarly, ketoses. The monosaccharides which contains the ketone functional group, ketonic functional group, ketone as the functional group. Ketone formula is C double bond O, C double bond O. Ketone functional group is C double bond O, CO, ketone. The monosaccharides which contain ketone as the functional group are called as the ketoses. Example for ketoses is the fructose. Fructose monosaccharide which contains the ketone functional group. This is about the aldoses and ketoses. Next, similarly, based on the number of carbon atoms, present, monosaccharides, they may be further classified into trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses. Similarly, one more, heptoses Up to hexoses only in our syllabus. We have to study only up to hexoses. They based on the number of carbon atoms, monosaccharides, they may be trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses and heptoses. Trioses means, tri means 3. Trioses means which contains 3 carbon atoms. It contains 3 carbon atoms are called trioses. Example for the trioses are glyceraldehyde. Glyceraldehyde, which contains aldehydic functional group and 3 carbon atoms. Glyceraldehyde has 3 carbon atoms and contains aldehydic group. Similarly, if a monosaccharide contains 4 carbon atoms, then they are called tetroses. For tetroses, example is erythrose. Erythrose contains 4 carbon atoms having aldehyde as the functional group, and 5 carbon atoms. Monosaccharide has 5 carbon atoms. It is called pentoses. For pentoses, example is ribose. Ribose again contains 5 carbon atom and the aldehydic group. Similarly, monosaccharide has 6 carbon atoms. It is called hexoses. Only in our syllabus, only we have to discuss about the hexoses. That hexoses are, one is an glucose, galactose and fructose. All the 3 monosaccharides in our syllabus are the examples for the hexoses. Glucose, galactose, fructose. Glucose contains the aldehydic group. Glucose and galactose both contains the aldehydic group and having 6 carbon atoms. Hence glucose and galactose we are called as the aldohexoses. Aldohexoses. Why glucose and galactose are called aldohexoses mean glucose and galactose contains 6 carbon atom and aldehydic group. Hence they are called aldohexoses. Similarly, fructose contains 6 carbon atoms and ketonic group. Fructose contains the ketonic group. Hence fructose is called as the ketohexose. Ketohexose means containing 6 carbon atoms and ketonic group. Those are called as the ketohexoses. Example for ketohexose is the fructose. Similarly, heptoses means the monosaccharides contains the 7 carbon atoms are called heptoses. Example for that heptoses is pseudoheptulose. It contains 7 carbon atom. Hence it is called as an heptoses. This is about the classification of monosaccharides based on the functional group and the number of carbon atoms. Next, one more type of classification based on the nature. Based on the nature of carbohydrates. Based on the nature of carbohydrate. That may be sugars and non-sugars. Based on the nature of carbohydrates, they may be sugars and non-sugars. What are sugars means? Carbohydrates which are taste in nature, crystalline in nature, soluble in water. The carbohydrates which are taste in nature, crystalline and soluble in water. Example for sugars are all monosaccharides and oligosaccharides. All monosaccharides and oligosaccharides, they are taste in nature, crystalline, and are soluble in water. Hence, that monosaccharides and oligosaccharides were considered as an sugars. Second type are the non-sugars. Non-sugars means which are not sweet to taste. Which are not sweet to taste. They are not sweet in taste. They are not sweet to taste and are amorphous. Amorphous. Insoluble in water. Insoluble in water. Those are called as the non-sugars. The carbohydrates which are not sweet to taste, amorphous and insoluble in water, those are called non-sugars. For non-sugar, all polysaccharides are considered as the non-sugars. Then sugars, they may be further classified. They are further classified based on the action towards the Tollens reagent, Felling's solution, and Benedict's reagent. Based on the action of sugars towards Tollens reagent, Felling's solution, and Benedict's reagent, sugars may be reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars. Sugars may be reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars. Reducing sugars means the sugars which reduce Tollens reagent into black precipitate of silver. In aldehyde chapter, in aldehydes and ketones, we can we can study in detail about this Tollens and Felling's solution. You have to write the chemical reactions also. What is the meant by Tollens reagent also. You have to define the Tollens and the Felling's solution. If aldehydes and ketones, if treated with the Tollens reagent, the product formed is black precipitate of the silver. Here, reducing sugars reduces Tollens reagent into black precipitate of silver. Fellings and Benedict's, both these Fellings and Benedict's reagent into red precipitate of cuprous oxide, Cu2O. Cuprous oxide, cuprous means copper in the +1 oxidation state, it is called cuprous. Copper in the +2, it is called cupric. Here copper present in the +1, hence it is called cuprous oxide. That cuprous oxide color is red precipitate. When the sugars reduce Fellings and Benedict's reagent into red precipitate of cuprous oxide, Tollens reagent into black precipitate of the silver. Such sugars are called reducing sugars. Definition of reducing sugars are the sugars which reduce Tollens reagent into black precipitate of silver, Fellings and Benedict's reagent into red precipitate of cuprous oxide. Why they reduce the Tollens, Fellings and Benedict's mean? Because they contain free aldehydic or ketonic group. These Tollens, Fellings and Benedict's are tests for the aldehydes and ketones. Due to the presence of free aldehydic or ketonic group, reducing sugars reduce Tollens reagent into black precipitate of silver, Fellings and Benedict's reagent into red precipitate of cuprous oxide. Example for that reducing sugars are glucose or maybe of galactose or maybe of maltose lactose, etc. That glucose or even glucose, galactose, fructose, maltose and lactose are called as the reducing sugars. Non-reducing sugars. Non-reducing sugars means the sugars not reduced. They not reduce Tollens reagent into black precipitate of silver and not reduce Fellings and Benedict's reagent. Why the sugars not reduce Tollens and Fellings reagent means because they not contain free aldehyde or ketonic group. They not contain free aldehydic or ketonic group. The aldehydic or ketonic group present in the sugar, they are not free to react with Tollens or Fellings reagent. Such sugars, they are called non-reducing sugars. Most important non-reducing sugar is the sucrose. Sucrose is considered as a non-reducing sugar. Why sucrose is a non-reducing sugar? Means because it not contain free aldehydic or ketonic group. Why those groups not free means they are involved in the glycosidic linkage. In the sucrose, if you write the structure of the sucrose, there you can shows that aldehydic group or the ketonic group involved in the glycosidic linkage. Hence those aldehydic and ketonic group, they are not free to react with Tollens and Fellings reagent. Hence sucrose is considered as the non-reducing sugar. In next class, you can study about one by one, that is glucose to polysaccharides. Okay.